Westline TV. Spice up your day.
Good evening to you all and welcome to the VYBEZ show. My name is Bakaay, and as you know, whenever we come on your screen every Thursday, we are here to learn as usual. Tonight we have an interesting topic that we'll be discussing, and I have with me in the studio two interested people that I'll be having this discussion with. But before I introduce them, let's go for a break. I believe you've learned something today from the health tips, right? Today, our topic for the day is on managing work and marriage. I'm sure you're wondering how these two things can go together. If you're married, how would you manage work with it? How are you going to cope, even if stress comes in from work? How are you going to cope with it when it comes to our So these are many other things that we'll be discussing tonight, and I have with me in the studio Madam Emelia Addison, who is the CEO for Amy Shop Africa, ESA. Let me remind you that Madam Amy is the one that styled me today and also has been my designer and stylist for the VYBEZ show. Also, I have with me Nana Mbrah, who is a pharmacy technologist, a marketing executive, and also a farmer. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Nana, welcome on the VYBEZ show.
Thank you.
And then you be Nana Mbrah na Madam Emelia Addison na when it comes to managing work and marriage. This is the VYBEZ show. If you just joined it, don't forget to press on the subscribe button and also follow Westline TV. Good evening.
Good evening.
And then you be a Rebecca, our na ejuma. The two combination in Mosa Okobu. Yareka awara nkasa yinim day on the responsibilities na. Ne ejuma so kita no responsibility on its own. Nti topic here and that had me sure they will pick nkasa. And I'm sure that some people have that challenges about combining these two because obia heavy tax on its own. Nti woma ye can check awara na nkasa urban responsibilities that comes with it. How we can combine these two. Our bottom, able to me that you're two nakasa yadabu. Ntiaka aware nakasa aware no oyabedi. Mamene nana nkasa.
Marriage and also aware a union between two people. Let me underline this word, that understands themselves. And then they've added the God creator to make it the three. So it's a union between these three people. The woman, the man, and the God that believe that is the blesser of the marriage or the person that manages them amongst everything. Until a union be an unkabuma or them kofutu no womu. The unkupon madam kabum no then or is stable. Until Amedy, to my best of knowledge, that is how I describe marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today was a word or Yakupon say. Yakupon or initiate our Nankasa. So bit who understand it now. Upon a mansion that they made the motor to Mawafa.
Yes.
Madam Amy. Madam Amy don't know styling so the minute or the mirror pawn at the door. I think it's the first time meeting Nana Mbrah. And a map wouldn't eat.
Yes, sure.
Madam Amy, I've had you on my show previous season. And I think we had a similar discussion. It was about our nana, when you may be a photo. And then she has some see in your hadi. Up and out, maybe a to me and nadi. In Tower, so what's your idea? What is your knowledge about it? Here, our Nakasa.
Yeah, my brother came. Or you between your baby and what's on and why am I not in the day of the fire? We are not a tribe times. We are an education level crown, but same time when I was on one day, you put me a year for work and young you baby or baby different cry, no, the other a person should baby no wabble and what one was the at times no. If in the share, probably maybe go out one say another day, but you know, what can they be baby? No, so the other partner is baby. But what just know what's monas now what's not apple. You know, oh yeah, he was shame because why they and me morning in the air, he am from the man, they them not see on pedamans in the before. If you're pedam, he needs the marry on pedam, but swimming no nature. I want to say, yeah, we don't look at some of these things. Who they or they, Charlie Yakaboma, Yaya support. Yes, and was yet near from the minimum now today. Even the bearing you know one a character. But still be in your being young, the in Jesus to a young day. Yakaboma, yeah, or be yes, I find you go also. You can be a Luciana and Sana. But characters, what? I have home now from the Marana, and make Iowa. Okay. Erica, so you made mention there. For to why one agent they will be together and make it work. Work you so now. On also yet, her work high, mostly in the work to see a juma. I said, I want Uncle so ye juma on its own. It's yes, ma. Our way being or your kid there won't soon in us, who better swing your extra job by your dodging come pepper, a baby fair nothing can no cream and crew no door ya not didn't. I want Uncle Sunday juma related to it no. How Uncle door ye, Erica.
Nti ye nananom wotena ase ana VYBEZ no most of them were farmers and ideally orukọ ahabe ma onye na ye bọkọ ebi owi a obotwitwa ediban bi na wonyina wadaba generation rukọ enyim na nneema bebree sesa nti obodu stage bia na ebe hu de okay papa na oye adwuma maame wo fie odu be hu de no sisi ade ya nneema edu na ode ye na bi nya ye adwuma nti most of the average people are asking they try to get married to somebody ebia onu benyini yejuma bi or the kakraba be sia no so yejuma the kakraba the person who instituted marriage you know my task there say obi anhwe ni fie ya or in the pabon person obi onjindi in the first place no or dey hwe ye fie se botu ya hwe ye fie ya ye wonema bi a or very important God Bible na so kada yeyem ye bedi me ye behye na be be di etibodo ya di etibodo these three things are enough. Nti mebezi mebehye na bebi eti boss no enkite ska entumi ye nti ejuma ye very key in marriage nti oyade bia we can't do without it whether you are even a single person or a married person ejuma ye very key now say ejuma ye very key there ye be de na ye tunya manage these two things the America no marriage na nkotin post wo na nkotin po ye ejuma kese o san there differences wo ho Nyoma bebre ba ka ho ebia mofoma ba bebe mofoma ne ba how we manage mofoma no ebia afoma no odo ogware odo we siesie fie nyoma bebre wo ba ka ho when even marriage na nkasa no mu no dam nyoma ne ba at every stage in the life of the marriage no extra nyoma ba ka ho so which means that onankotipo ya de kese a se rehwe na nkoti onye adwuma kakraba then now you bring in your work and also adwuma ode ye so the American ye nyina ye adwuma ebi ye nyina ye pon 5 o'clock but I may expect them be few them be di fufu ye nyina pon 5 me dey na medum be di dem fufu no it means somebody will have to do something extra to make sure that we complement ebi a modo osi wo fie no the man so na ebi you have to pay bills, you have to pay school fees, you have to take care of health. It means that somebody will also have to do something extra. So basically extra be in the okay about to tune in me dem obey bia oyimde no kunde bi odi fufu nti no kun baba na even though we na open 5 o'clock no dem fufu ne tuma e do ono so bedi the man na ben no so ehu de okay e bia aside me adwuma me ye no se manye business bi am fa nka ho to complement what I'm getting as a salary muntumi cater for all these things that is in the house nti ben no so obe devote ne time bi da ye bibi fufuru bi bia oboboa ma efie no why then wetum wa complement the man. The man you be so okay when you know be decide okay me yim da me up on 5 must up on 5 ba me pefufu edi da na no meba mo nto banche na mbabo nsi jado me yeso ba no wa ba yen kwan which means that when now we to make sure that them fufu na up edi no wetum wetum waye nti there are so many ways obetum obia botum aye de a compliment ma efie no waye den waye possible nti ye wonyo ma bebre a ebi ebedi ho nkomo along the line.
Okay, you better hold. But maybe some Madam Amy there. Madam Amy, do you also agree there? Kamosa aware na nkaso ye adwuma. There's Sugana Mosa why na de no. Aware futu ni nyina no odo bia nso ye adwuma. Or the can war no war no na de. To your opinion, a full day ke bia e for relaxing and caution you maybe na e so pop is kind of so the bad. Like what's your whole idea about it?
Okay. My making you there. Say, you pay me, yeah, my brother can be from Enkano, like olden days. Now, from baby or no Ruben, or as an enemy say. But I may also margin now, a woman you day. Hearing you na year, but you're watching your maybe Brianna in parents. Why you wouldn't be free those days now. This upon time walk on with you might be free. But if you know or cordon more, you can pick your baby from the western side, Bakaay, in culture. Those days, no say aircraft or if you're in your machine, sewing hand sewing machine, if you're in your trunk. A passion yeah to do. Yeah, the time was was only just one. But she in there the way a power and quiet your mouth a day as a poor. If you judge laptops, iPhone and watching. Not a day, and your marriage is on today in Canada. Nine and mammy, we are called be a school by what one day, Woofy, yeah, called it, which one in my Woofy. What can you there? You walk on his man for at least they're quite able to be to some present and what it is. But in your master's son, in Sino, in your master's son, on yet there, Western from Cotain, a welcome and the master's son. But those days now, olden days, no from my him put on the walk school. Sisia, Opias never school. Bian Barcus. Into your fun days, I will be in Ibia, it's from a bed tenor. One was into my shop into my shop when you know. Definitely, your day be sent to you, was war. And a Bessiana war with fear no solo. That is why I did begin the soul on my navy when you may be one day. By times, one thing I'm realizing there is programs not Mona. Before debates about the members say no is but they not no one is but that kind of thing. But nearly be free day. Years the same with the years saying na year kade besia sisi no so yi dwuma. But may you first learn to one once a day. Besia ye dwuma ntino no so at least go to my support in bia fees money na bibi kakra bi o bia me yi nyumpo na se bibi shapre bi you know what's normal. I baby hit time and answer. It's manner of you when you live in fee. But for that's not what action. My wife, if you might buy, maybe hit time because most of the times they could hear the brain one. Weekends, why it is manolation if freezer be there or in town being in the papa is mano. Why are you still waiting for your wife to come and say? In society, here once a day, you may be one hand this year for a day year one. Mam, that's not meaning and with one. I don't want to swat in you may be as then you may be or I don't want to go here. If he is bending me, fine, 1 ton. On your course, that's all. A sweetheart, I'm from a one student, I'm on total. If you have me 1 or 2 things to also support you, I will check it and maybe I will show you maybe a while. Maria, but we will have one or relax what's near home or your ball. A baby, even from back, money, or friend at homework or crown. I expect another day or a daughter. It's the one, oh, yeah, the man, no, I quite there, man. Although, yeah, why judge me day? Sisi, I didn't have to support, but better than I can say. I better than myself. So I have time to doesn't mean easy for me.
But Yerika, Mammy be say, Namisha won't I see you. Yet, in bay for Nambisiafu. Yen do be our do rule, Oban our room. Most of the time, name them being from one, Oban is Cassama, what the baby fear, no what they keep fear, Adam. and can be funa, you expect them, I don't know. Numbers are for no so from our basis if you'll be making sure they own them from one in the moon. I don't know. Most of the yes, that side no won't be self no. In memory, don't you think that the fact there, Miss Afono so wants to worry you, Jumanintino? When your time in Sheffield, I'm from an most and our door ye. It's one ma our Nankasano, need Jane Nankasan Janaia.
Inti Americano ni baby wom. Nasa our bejine ya mijidi de oye a tax for the two of them. Saying there nti ase a wona bi wo benya na wo dey take decisions wo awa na wode na mkwan no the work no ono na obobo madam problems in our solve nti to the American amede benyin me ye adwuma me ye su ye adwuma adwuma na me ye na ahemfa na odre bo afie ede kwekoduru mosu benyin na ahemfa na mo bo afie ede kwekoduru nti besia ni ye adwuma ono nchede ontumi mfasika ne bi mbo afie ade Inti minim families bia what they do is okay. Sisi ye pedi yesidan. Se meka da me diske me yesidan na ma sana manage fi aka hwe dan na 100 years yensi. Inti besia na atase da okay. Da me da me de botwe editi wo fie. Inti wo so wo de no yen hwe ne yen fa den yen fa nko edan mu. That is where minim how much you are making, how much that is coming, the expenditure say wo fie. Inti se okabende if I'm left in the dark as a woman, not knowing how much my husband is making, where his money goes it will be difficult today besiano or this can be babuafi. Also being a buffer dream okay, moso manfamboa moso mo. Inti ye any mebushie be bon de besiano or sidan wonu krom. Wabra benyin so sidan na won ebusue nya waka akatinem. It shouldn't be like that. Inti ne papa mu no in can be a wonya no ye won nyina what is for the family. Inti oya ibinum si o amemi ye benyina oyine besie hu sika amenya. It's a no for me. If you are a family and you believe that you are married to somebody you call your wife, the two of you should know how much each of you is making. How much goes into education, how much goes into feeding, how much goes into savings, how much goes into adibia project bia wopada way as a family. That way, no, Obia be feel that I'm committed to whatever that we are doing. And that is how I believe that marriage should be. Now, before the man diboko not chere entiasi won ebie no wo what draw plan am won. Nti Obia opada where and every marriage should have a plan. The couple should have a plan as to how they are managing home. To the American say ejuma meye no on allow mama ntumi mba fie ntam na me mbo hwefia. One of you can make a sacrifice. Okay, ebi amejuma ameye no maye ejuma bi a obotu wa abo ma te na make ebi amofoma bebe fie no na ebi ame maame ne mo fie ana obe fie no oba bato papa no fie dem obe ya won enyu obokọ omofoma no nyina ye plan na ode ebusua no waye nti say I'm planner that mistakes no botu wa. If you plan even from the beginning, you even know the kind of person you should marry, knowing very well the kind of job you do. Nti ebu ho afa na amejuma ameye no I travel almost moko 1 week first but na ejuma baby am ejuma na moko almost every week moko. So somebody like me, if I'm getting married na some ko ware obi anu so na ejuma no on allow no month na fia if you near bed na manage. So in my mind, if I'm getting married, then I need to know somebody oh no anamu nipa no professional ya me okay nipa no all the time no owo fie nti be a time odo ko adwuma nye too difficult obotum be we siesie mafuma no when I'm not around wa akọ time oba be fie no be ono be ya na mafuma no so aba nti ne yo mafuma no. All this planning should be thought of before you even enter into the marriage. Dem oba ya ono botum abo ma efie hwe no wetum ayden we dimu ebi a obenyin no we adwuma no entutu kwan but be sie no so na adwuma ma otutu kwan a you should know. Inti wala besia na ode enwo do benyi ode menye benyi na ameme ni fie a obutu ayden wa manage fie ama mokoba ni na ayden ya atuedo. Inti all these balances should be made. It shouldn't be about them odobi. You could love somebody but ebi adam ni omenyi na anhwa wo ba wo no na efie no ontumi ngina because one plan them you one dream them ni omenyi na. Inti ejuma am ye mokọ amamba no so ko mba mofuma no at the end of the day no they will become wayward. because obi an will control if you know. Ebi so you need scared to for nani or baba no. And then your system no, or quite different from what our fathers came to meet. And then Mbrah fiti mankade edibana yedi kopum do be fi yani mu aba in where we pay for everything. Unlike in canon, you know, was when you call baller, I could to baller go on juice car, band a ball and watch huska. And the insuno made to go on a butcher and sana at all, Melbourne at all prepaid. And sana and that's Afaba at Uberico schooler. The minimum fees you could pay around this barely around 600 or 700. That's the minimum. And on to China, obey the breakfast or the snack boko. And sana oko school so we did. So expenditures na so kwa na roko. Na taro be shan kan umbe. Ni school fees e tu ambe, transport ambe. Medications ambe. Into the the expenditures in kwa na oko into average people in the society now we need to marry people who are doing something to support us. But it has to come with a plan. Them obey one be able to manage if you correctly.
Okay. Nana Mbrah there. We have to marry with a plan on the moral couple. Madam Emelia. But you have a Bible motion now. In the beginning, Adam and Eve were born Ponaya Ponpo or Babetia one. Okay, they being obeyed Mawats and Fufrina did not have a shake on the Bissana and Bano. But one can be them shine Bissino. In Tiasha Yapona dream and Cassana Nancy Shana Cassana. And Ka on your pro Nipa order or what Oye Juma while we're in mana, they too. And on your Cassanipa Yas said to me, I don't know that to why. Why may I find them for ye your own answer?
A Bible there, it's Castati, and they Yapon, ma okay, beyond Nansan, none so say Bible, Nakasa, a can Maximia, in day, and very upon night, very say, in Kania, in the Oya times. We movies now, you are meaning to be in the imagination is also there, but the way I'm in the Asian movie, it seems real, but in the what content as I watch a share, be a story, a what content history, be a what say now was a year. But said by ever when you or Bible, in the day, she ought to be named this so they are doing well, even if a friend and Ruben a virtuous woman. All kinds of maybe about that woman and actually roots Naomi the roots a story now. In the maybe see no yaza otna hokeke. Intino there may a people in you us the Manyapo Nori Bia was before our overborn and knowing them what cake is your friend electric wires to or make sure there on a work at an insulin or money nanasi. In Sinyame, only BB piano. Although or can't there, they knew what you mean with you. Now, Asha fast, in New Testament, no, nah, but Jampon Jesus obey also by Shannon, never be brief, same. Now, those days, not say Bible, and this year, for one time, woman is the number be over. One time, but Jesus bear nature. A what kind of cat and no son, a friend, and what kind of tabard and no moon. When ye go home and be there for so young, so ye yapping Jack, ma, what can then be for you to get it to me because I say numbers be for what can also a main phone number, Miss them be there from from account. You see, when Jesus Ben who quit one in my hand, there was a case, though, Mana Eve on Zono, that time, net Eve on Zono, because Esha, on not a sunshine to be why Esha, or take it, what and then on no do markets, not a say. into over affected Adam. It's not even on all this while until Jesus paid. It's not busy. Here now, well, and you may be one day you can day a bay. It's Jesus Ben no na overweight them if you want my hands so yes if yesterday yes because therefore New Testament they they were prominent people, they were supporting the gospel. If so when you do man no when you score here for now what is supports a lot of people Mary Mary and Martha Deborah there are so many women able to mark these people were doing very well. Now was a support a friend. Me am no. It's we be that metam nifigo. It's here before a friend a colonial masters, right? What about was a Bible but now can say we culture and tradition. And in culture and tradition, they are blend with those two can have. It's not a bawara, echo, a war outsider in here, there be engagement and son a white wedding. A wara only you just go to court, you do whatever. But in the employer about to him, culture and actuation. It's not the mass of the marble. And those days, the session in here culture now, that's the crown. Nay, ye than Bible. But also day, Yame open him will listen. We were behaving that way. Not being in an over papa and Bessia, wow, walked them and Yame came one answer. It's a shot. All your times will be all full day, yeah. Say, any Christian, Yame swing you. Yame one for them and Ancasa came or put him then and Sassuntino. That all one moon not that I'm him. It's even as at that time, nine the Bible. Rofina was a Bible in the bed. 9 yen before. In there being no all. Now our band never sees the in the kitchen. And that was so from the beginning. Yeah. So at times we are going to white no food there and there should have wanted the honor of my side. It wasn't so. Bibiano Obi, no Yame Fanado now, or Zaba. It's all these things but New Testament Ben be break it down. Then the white picked it. It's the Asha one Mbrah na Besia put to catch a in there when you're and a woman there on your she. And I'm honest ye need there be if I made what can you chop money with the housekeeping money. Another I don't make Canada will be a contribute. Or one a day task day, or a day a transparent. Being or day will be sending your mom, is still so pretty. But I never before. Yako for them parts no about Bakaay who there was a work and a wara being the Bessia, why a pro, why I throw into have rights, but my kind of puncher them not my brother. Bessia, when you moon post car, what you will do. It's but they are fighting the women. They what can they say? How you was guys day, but say if saying tuning now, you agree. They be a yafan de human a year ya. Company or do be an assessor or on board. Or transparent, right? Say if Sammy, if you are 30-70 year, in there, I would be a descendant 30, no 70, another 50-50, and I have on board. So you're transparent, in Kadama Casacasa or come back. Because at the end of the day, never would have been baby or you look on Bibia, maybe a Bibia no walk. Odisiana, on pede, or many fat. Anyways, it means to be able to make sure they no so much chapter or woman. Watch. All no creates a lot of problem, but from an iron from corridor. That is the main everyday baby. Why you look on BB, Manukune Fima. These are some of the things. Because some domicun look at how I say, yeah, funny air champion. You don't get your look junction. Then I say, Bijal. There's a water bomb. Oh, the abdominal she be there, what we could come one hour, but that time she couldn't be a skibia question than you skibia. No phobia, no, that time, no, Biana, you know, what a man's no. Biana, you know, Cosicano. But the moment, what war, met a crew decide the day, I may miss the Missicano, men pay a crew pet. Not as that.
Okay, Nana, I would a can't be Madam Amy so I had the same thing, or your transparency. Na yeri kan kasa aware mu no enye sure de edwuma na wa bem na wa madam transparency no ontum indimu wa aware mu na so de hwa nkadama na wo do ye na nimpa na kasa ye nsuba na wa course de madina
nti enye edwuma sam na wa ma transparency mba aware mu sentirin de yen nananum no mpo na dam problem no wo ho na man all madam nyoma na esisi in the one to them madam king most of the time eventually abahwa na eja na eweja ebia ebusua no wa ba na dem no eye na mba no what is their position back in the days abahwa na eja na nunu anum bia abede afipo de maame na okun ekun no nti won nyina wontum fifie ho na waaye wa agba ahwete. There were two systems of marriage in Ghana. Your matrimony and your tribes be on with the ejade. Your tribes be with the enade. Nti one with the enanya ne wo account for the especially the enade. Assumption in there say beyin e wo fie na se e wo ba e ba ne dem ekobesie no ho. Nti ye nananom no wo dam no shin there o wo ba ma wo besie no. Nti o we japada no so ya amane nue besia namba. Nti wo fa wo nti ne sister number no won wo hwe de won wo fa awoye papa awo na wo papa awo no bo hwe ne wo fa so knowing with the idea there wo so wo fa se wo fa bo hwe awo wo fa se no na se wo fa no oni bia wo de bo hwe me nti dame nyoma ne tsena ye na nanu mo adwene mo ba je pass and parcel of us nti wama until recently ene ebusua bi wo ho a wotumi tase de okay ejapade bi wo ho na se fa nda e bia ku na ewu a bibi oho bia na oye eye na mbadia e bia ebusua na ebenya bi po ye yenta se de ode mo ho to wan ansa na ebenya nso ye obibi wo ma ya eden yenya. That then is a very big challenge to most of the families. Nti no efie wo wo mu no even though what na da ahwarefo no besia bia orukwa awo bia ona adwene mi de ochena mukunu wa na ebusua fa abafa bibi owo nti sadam na ote da mo so menye bibi insimetri ama se bibi sia ma eden ma obanda ma muso menya baby me dimitrato nti now besie bia peda oye adwuma ebohwe na bia dam obeya se okabanda bibi dam sie na so odo hwe ne mba wetu ha de wa aboa. The second thing to has to do with yan system ye wom sisi ano enyoma asesa bebre nti de dam ye bohu de birthday no so kwai nipa krotia or the pressure ba nti ebohwe na papa no no kwam ebu nti dam da samuso me ye adwuma ye na ebe eden ye benya bibi kakra ye da aboa nti the transparency no right from the beginning no ni ho because odu to them are making benyin no so all the bibi come na wa fa asefo a o maame no o menya awe because wo ba no ebia wo ba na egi school fees no wa fa aso so egi school fees on tua ne bande no but obotua no wa fa ase ne de no nti a o maame no se ete de we tua no wa fa ase ne de no ntua ne bande da ewe aba asam na obeba or the before ba nti that is where all these things started from, where we papa wo ba oyimde okay eba no wo maame ne side nti eba no so obey you so onye you it's up to maame ne do obey bibi dam ne omano so no ma mesafun dam da na mam so nya adwuma because ebia me uncle no so ontum nhwe ebia beyin kru no ye owo dam mesafun nya wo family odo hwe ne wo fa asefun ontum nti dam da no so wo bibi a menye na memfom wo member nti all these things obanda ma besia no so nya bibi a onka ncha wo benyin no osanda no so opana ode boa ne ba no ne ba no so wetum ayeden wetum wa hwe ne ho na no so wetum wegina because I do hwe wo nti oye system bi a ye inherit gradually we eat into ourselves. Now till date it's still there that there are some families say a room na say anya very careful na say nye benyi na ote wa say mo wontum sisi won yema ya anya ne ma bi ya e da agura BBC sisi ara a wo besie no you will struggle especially with your kids into most of the time them in some no na madam transparency no only wo but they be ameka there enyoma resesa enyoma rekọ enim we are becoming more knowledgeable. Nti benyina man ya wadwen de ebia ewo ba eba no kobesia ne side. Nti whether be obey de no on phone. That is number one. Say at the man na say be ma transparency aye dwuma. Ebobo we busua, but be make sure the ebobo we use na busua. Be sia no so hu de eboan, ebo wo mba ebo no so na busua no so wo bibi o de be on board no so be open up. Because hu da ade no mo ho no nyina ye use da. Mo so me di ni nti nyina ye fa nka ho na ye den. Ye fa nhwe adwuma. Nti oyade bia tede ma medical cash as no. It boils down to planning. It boils down to us being knowledgeable and throwing the old things away. See, we are saying 100%. Inti ebotu ayedam no menyina so a woman can decide that obey baby dey to your same way I also be say ebotu open up but be say be use be na adwene still on men hu bibiara because ebi wo experience baby e what you be aka na say hey me ma me hu me sika ma dey na we si be say bi so o experience bi obi aka chen hey e ma okunu hu sika ma dey na o si inti because of all these things no oma odu baby binum decided they wouldn't do it. But if you want peace of mind in your marriage, it should be one of your priorities. It should be number one. You know how to do it best. As lebema enya somdwe wo ofie. Ye ni potete obi afi bibia different houses. Obi na ota wo na asepo information ana ideas what the man wa were no information onya fi awore no mu. Ye obi wo a metey ma be nanse ade ono ne ba besi owo no. Until this day to our no, like she's always there for her daughter. You know, somebody like that, you know, it agree everything be saying back at mommy. And every day the woman will give a different advice to Nebano. Into one day, our wife and our pen will take decisions, but there is a third person, all one will take decisions. And I may be seeing any experience be when yanti or the influence in the band why never be brave and rainy year. Oma wangasa 1 hour no mpo onye nti na de bi ekade say awara you should try to understand that ayawo na wukuna na ayawo na woyere na wabetena you are the one and yankopon say we together. Anybody outside your marriage shouldn't make decisions for you. Say yet the man your man ketenke na say obaboa ma all the time no matter the problem no you ba solve no matter mo bi adrebon because tell me yake ejuma ye ade bia ejuma na ngasa woni problem ebu wo ejuma bi ye no pressure wo ejuma nim office and also ebia ejuma bi ye no pressure wo bibi wo you need to meet time and all those things one problem wo ebe fie so asomdwe no you and when here the pressure na there then edewu ntina most of the what me fie wu terms bisiafo because o combine ejuma me de o da abaka fie de o da abaka ebusue de ho he has to carry everything on his head nti for ebenyin na say my pressure na amba fom na wara anye free you end up dying na echimom no eja problem no wo so a obi answer ntum solve mo so I believe it's tradition and one madam no but we need to change that narrative.
Okay. Ya kasa pi yehu a situations are all day ye for dum pass na ye decide okay both partners no or the war yehu reasons mponti a transparency pi on town for the war room otedo ye tete ade a no ho awa ba to nde but nyame ado maybe mu we hwe nyama kakra but still our system no mu it's in down commodity trader it was managing work and marriage together mo say ebe si ye da war na edwuma ya ka bo ma wa ye ono ho komo na nda ye rebo the